What is up? Field Street Forum Live right here on the Playbook Athlete Podcast Network. I'm your host, The Real Dre. Tonight, we will talk about National Signing Day. The Dogs get better. Two big-time gets for Georgia today. One maybe a surprise. Well, maybe both a surprise, honestly. Georgia was able to, finalize the deal for Pickens, the wide receiver that had been long time committed to Auburn. And, it kind of was a surprise to people, but you know what? I mean, he had said for a while now, Georgia was, right there, at number 2 for him right now. So, I don't know why everybody is so completely surprised by it, but you know what? It is what it is, y'all. Georgia brought him on board, reeled him in, and got their another stud receiver for this class, to be completely honest. I think there's a couple of receivers that are going to be very good, even if Georgia didn't sign a 5-star like George Pickens. So, but we'll talk about Pickens more in depth. We'll talk about Seether making the decision to become a Georgia Bulldog as well. Georgia adds the tight end to this class. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the Playbook athletes that ended up signing with colleges today as well. I'll let Jason talk about getting to know some of those guys and tell us a little bit about them. And speaking of Jason, we got Jason Harry Dog joining us and our boy Dustin as well. What's up, fellas? Happy National Signing Day.
Going on?
Not much, man. We kind of went into the day, and maybe I think the thought was Georgia might not sign anybody today after everybody thought they, maybe a couple of weeks ago they might have a big signing day. I think that everybody was kind of resigned to the fact that maybe they won't get anybody else added to the class. I don't know, but lo and behold, had a huge flip and ended up picking up Seether. Jason, what was your thoughts from National Signing Day today for Georgia?
The biggest deal of the year, and it came from the dirtiest, nastiest rival we have. You bunch of big crybaby suckers. We took your 5-star receiver.
I mean, he'd only been committed for like 500 days, so, I mean, it's not like he was locked in or anything.
all their players are salty on Twitter.
Oh, my Lord.
I just have one question for Gus Bus, for the Auburn players, for the Auburn fans, and for anybody else in the SEC or wherever doesn't like it. Are you big mad or are you a little mad? Big mad.
Shoot. They're talking about need to start paying out more is what they said. I don't know, again, what really baffled me was the Miami board and all their posters talking about how Georgia just came out of nowhere, and everybody was saying it was Auburn or Tennessee or what was the other? Did they say LSU? Something like that. It's like, dude, he'd been saying the whole time that Georgia was in his top 2. I don't get where they think this all just came out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, he said a while back that it's been a while that he had wanted to play with Justin Fields.
Right.
And that Georgia, had the best quarterback situation and all that good stuff. So I mean, yeah, it wasn't out of there. it was out of nowhere for them because they just didn't know, but be more informed.
Right. I did actually hear Gus on one of the talk shows afterwards, and it was kind of funny how he was saying that a lot of it was planned, or a lot of it was, intentional and all this kind of stuff as far as the people that they didn't sign, even, which I'm assuming he was intimating at Pickens. And I'm like, I don't think you had this in mind as far as your signing day plans go, Gus. I love the spin that coaches always put on signing day. A lot of it is, it's almost always, well, we got the players that we had highest on our board, and maybe it was after some of your other guys left, they were probably the highest on your board, but I don't know.
He was the highest on your board after Georgia stole your big one.
Exactly. So I don't know. And then Brett Seether, I think a lot of, and I guess you could probably put me in that camp as well, as maybe kind of wondering, when Georgia was going after Pickens and Elam and Cross and everything else, and wondering why they were maybe taking a run at Seether. But Dustin, what was there anything about him that I'm glad he's on board, obviously, because it is a position of need. But what's kind of your thoughts on the Seether pickup for Georgia?
I think he's a good route runner, and he has good hands, good receiver. I just think he's really got to bulk up. That's 6'5", 228. So he's gonna really need to beef up a little bit if he wants to play a lot of meaningful snaps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did I hear him say, or someone write about it, that he'd only been playing since his junior year?
That's correct. From Maryland to Florida last year.
Which is pretty incredible to get the offers that he had and only basically been playing for 2 years.
Yeah.
He had obviously the Georgia offer. It came down to Georgia and Alabama. He had multiple, to Power 5 and Division I offers. So that's there's obviously a lot of talent there. He's obviously pretty raw, I guess, as far as, which is pretty incredible, like you're saying, that his route running is so strong, considering he's only been playing for 2 years. I wonder what kind of does he show good hands, and obviously blocking is going to be important too. Have you noticed anything like that as well?
Yeah, he I'm not watching every single snap he has, but he gets open and catches a lot of balls. He gets aerial a lot, high points the ball. But he was just saying how it was a big adjustment when he's in Maryland, that it's like he's playing with little leaguers, and then he got to Florida, and he said everything was every game was pretty much a challenge for him compared to where he was playing up north, where there's not a lot of competition.
So still being able to put up stats is kind of a pretty good sign that he's moving from Maryland to Florida.
It's saving
good deal.
Doing in-house business with you. You're pretty good.
Yeah, great point. Pickens, Jay, did your boys play Hoover? Is that who they played in the state championship?
No, Thompson.
Oh, okay. Who do you kind of compare Pickens to? Anybody come to mind, or?
Ooh, I don't know. Everybody always wants to like A.J. Green or Julio Jones route, but I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
I'm going like
those guys.
Give me like a Dez Bryant type, I think.
Okay, yeah. I'll take that. multi-time Pro Bowler and All-Pro NFL wide receiver.
Hey,
as long as
it's funny. It's funny. Dustin mentioned old Saban. I got a message for him too. He might want to try to start tearing down a wall Kirby's building around the state of Alabama.
Yep.
We get the number 1 and number 2 players from Alabama, Clay Webb, George Pickens. Where the big boys at? and got the tight end over him. I mean,
yeah, yep. And don't forget the rest of the class. This ends up being, I guess, rivals ends up having Georgia's the number 1 class back-to-back seasons now. What were they? Were they 247 composite number 2 class? I guess.
Yeah.
Which ain't too shabby in and of itself.
It's like back-to-back classes were basically our 2 best classes ever.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And on I tell you what, on Scyther, when he visited UGA, he was basically ready to commit and wasn't even going to take the trip to Alabama. And then, I guess, obviously he talked to Saban on the phone, talked to Kirby on the phone, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Ended up taking the trip to Alabama. And then, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where, I mean, these are really, I mean, he had the Penn State offer, but, I mean, your 2 SEC schools just played in the national championship year before this one. So, I mean, I can see where he basically fall in love every place he went. So after that, of course, you're saying 50-50, he didn't know where he wanted to go, but obviously, in the end, the good guys won that one. I think it's going to be because of, number 1, Hartley, freaking already a recruiting machine.
Right.
And then, obviously, Alabama needs a tight end, too, because they lost, Irv Smith, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then look at their depth and our depth, and I mean, it's easy to see early playing time at UGA if he can put that weight on. And then on Pickens, nobody thought it was Georgia. And nobody, after Sunday, when he went to Auburn, after he went to Tennessee, after he took his official visit to Tennessee and stopped in Auburn on the way home, well, not really on the way home since he plays up at Hoover, but anyway, he went to Auburn. Pretty much everybody in the world thought, okay, it's over. He took a visit to Auburn after Tennessee. That's not good for anybody except Auburn, including myself. Even put something on the front page about it, about George Pickens really did stop by Auburn after Tennessee, then he's sticking. I think was the exact words. So he had everybody fooled, where it looked like, and I don't know if he specifically said this yet, but looks like he stopped by to tell old Gus Bus he wasn't coming.
His interview, he said he called him on Monday and told him no.
Okay, so he stopped by Sunday for whatever reason then. He didn't stop to tell him no. So anyway, obviously, lots of folks have been following recruiting for a long time. That usually tells you that he's sticking. If he called the school that he's committed to after an official visit right before signing day.
Mm-hmm.
That usually tells you he's sticking.
Yeah, that's one of the kind of the little sayings is, to kind of follow the visits. If a kid goes on a visit and then ends up going to the school he's committed to, that's likely a sign that, like you said, made up his mind, wanting to reaffirm things, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I wasn't even going to post a link to him announcing because everybody was basically sure it was Auburn, and then a couple of people text and this and that, and word started getting out, and I mean, literally 3 minutes before his announcement started, I posted the link because somebody shot me a message and was like, "You better put it up because it's Georgia." And I was like, and I promise you, and I'm not going to say exactly what I said, but starts with bull and ends with it. And they were like, "No, I swear to God, put it on." And so I was like, "Oh, crap, I got to share it." And so we put it on the board. People went and watched, and sure enough, we put that Georgia hat on. And I was like, what in the heck just happened?
Well, didn't it kind of things started coming out that they were changing the venue or something, or they didn't change times or anything, but they like changed the location and the venue of where they were making the announcement.
Time
right?
and location.
Yeah.
Time and location.
Time.
Hoover's, all of Hoover's kids, so, you know, they have, you know, double-digit guys that sign every year with, you know, D1 and D2 schools and all that. But, you know, so
right.
they're used to the signing day. They're pros at it by now. So all of their kids are going in the afternoon at Hoover High School. And so they're, like, crazy strict on not wanting their guys to flip and make a big production out of it, and not wanting their guys to do a big hat thing where you know, act like you're putting one hat on, or not even do hats on the table. Just, here's what I'm signing with, that's it, bam, done. You know, commit when you're ready to commit, and then sign with them, and that's it. And so, so I was, you know, of course, we don't know exactly what was said and why and all of that, but he changed it to doing it in the morning at, I can't remember where he was at now, but it wasn't on campus. But his coach did talk at the beginning of it, so I mean, I don't think it was a big deal between him and the school where they were pissed or anything, because his coach did show up and talked at the beginning of it. So, I mean, I don't know. So he sure changed it, and then everybody was like, you know, that's a sure tell sign right there. Okay, what's going on? Auburn should have been scared then. And so that started coming out, and then people were like, oh, Miami or LSU is going to steal them. It's going to be Miami or LSU or Tennessee. And no, LSU, no, it was Miami or Tennessee. And then they were like, oh, Tennessee's out. It's going to be Miami and steals them. And I was like, no, Miami's out. And then that's not too long before the signing, the announcement, that's when Auburn fans started to realize, and they were like, I mean, they were literally posting, I'm going to puke if it's Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like, get the bags ready. Oh, Kirby did it again.
Yeah. A lot of those guys took it personally. They can't believe there's only one reason they think it happened, of course. But the funny thing was, old Devon Wilson kind of got tired of hearing that mess and kind of clapped back at him a little bit. So I'm glad to see him, some of our guys kind of standing up for our guys in our school and everything. So
man, I'm telling you, I love that Florida swag.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he said that he'll feel it. I think Fields' name got mentioned. And Wilson kind of said, well, he'll feel it just like y'all did, basically. Just feel us just like y'all did.
Yeah, my boy got a shot in at Fields and Auburn at the same time. I'm like, that's masterful, baby. That's how you do it, right? I mean, you need to get a bunch of people pointers on how to talk trash, because he's getting it done, son. Hey, I'll tell you this: if I counted right, these two guys that we got today, Pickens and Slather, will put us at 86. And of course, there's guys in the portal and all that. So, I mean, who knows where it'll end up. But I'd be willing to bet you a lot that we still go after Cager and Wolf or another tight end, if not Wolf.
Right.
Yep.
So we could possibly add 2 6'5" receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Pickens might
be
probably 6'4"-ish, but 2 6'4", 6'5" receiver, whatever official height is. I think it's 6'4" on Pickens, but 2 big receivers.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I guess we're not going after the big Missouri tight end, Kirby.
I think he already came out and said he was staying anyway.
Yeah, but I figured
before anything came out about SEC schools poaching him and not poaching him, he came out and said he was staying.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
that's unfortunate.
What you did about the Pickens? You got a 2020 guy at Hoover.
Is that
Ashford?
Is that Ashford or the quarterback?
Yeah, everybody's kind of thinking that. I think Auburn and all their people kind of played up. Looks like a little too much. The friendship that he had with their quarterback commit, Bo Nix. Supposedly they were supposed to be real tight and all that, but evidently that was played up more than what it really was. And Ashford is supposedly committing in March. So you would think swinging Pickens might kind of put us in the catbird seat right there.
Nope.
Certainly couldn't hurt. By the way, Georgia and Alabama are playing on the hardwood right now. And it is 19-19 with 9:46 left in the first half. Started out well. Alabama kind of came back and has now taken the lead. Or tied it up anyway. They may have taken the lead on it. They just had a foul called. So anyway, it's 19-19, 9.5 left in the first half. As you watch and have it muted and listen to Field Street Forum Live. We have a caller, Field Street Forum Live. Who do we have?
What's up, guys? It's Terrell.
What's going on?
What's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Happy National Signing Day, man.
Yeah, how I feel to be the biggest leaders in the country, man. It don't get no better than that. Everybody hates it.
Everybody's saying it, man. What's going on? What's your thought? I mean, honestly, I guess now it's not quite what it used to be, obviously, with the early signing day, because that's when the bulk of everybody, the bulk of the players end up signing now, except for certain 5-star wide receivers and big-time tight ends. But what's your takeaway on? I mean, certainly filled some positions of need, no?
Yeah, definitely filled position of need, man. Solid class, top to bottom, like, and how they went about doing it this year, man. Like, getting kids from everywhere, just not the state of Georgia, man. That just shows you, like, that their staff, what they're capable of pulling off, man. Like, yeah, make you excited to be a Bulldog fan.
Oh yeah, yeah. Pulling in number 1 and 2 players in the state of Alabama. That's pretty damn good. Number 1 player in the state of Georgia. Then was who was the top player in Tennessee? Did Georgia, was it Logue or Norton or anybody, or?
Mine was Norton.
I guess. Yeah. And then was Nolan the number 1 player in Florida or Georgia?
Nolan was number one in Florida.
In Florida, so
you had
there you go.
don't forget about Dean. Dean was from Mississippi, right? I'm pretty sure he was the number one player in Mississippi.
Yeah, I would think so.
Man, don't forget Rhode Island either. We're putting our wall around Rhode Island, baby.
Oh yeah, Rhode Island.
Old Trust, baby. And I heard it again today, and again I heard Jake Rowe on the SEC network on the radio talking about. They asked him about what players to watch for in this class, and they usually keep it pretty general on those shows, but he obviously mentioned Nolan as just being a freak, and then obviously and Jermaine Johnson as well. As basically, he was just raving about Johnson, so that's huge. But again, you guys remember when we had Jake Roos on, and one of the guys that he said when I asked him that same question was Micaiah Tongue, and Rowe said the same. Had Tongue basically as like the third guy out of his mouth. So that could be a huge sleeper there, bringing that kid in that doesn't really get a lot of publicity. And
Dude,
brought him in from Louisiana.
I know this word's overblown, but he's a physical freak.
Yeah.
Oh, he definitely playing special teams. He will find his way on the field.
that dude's so big and so fast now.
Go back and watch his tape.
Yeah.
Watch his tape.
I mean,
he's
before being in a college strength, he looks like he's been in a college strength and conditioning program already.
Now look who his dad was, man. His dad played in the pros for how long? Like 8-9 years.
Reggie Tongue, was that his name?
I know he played for Seattle, so I know he definitely got the pedigree.
And that tends to, I know it's not every time, but once the kids are in sports and things, it seems like that tends to kind of end up being a benefit. They end up kind of knowing the kind of work that they have to do to get to that level and that kind of thing. Kind of know the teamwork side of things, so they're kind of used to it. His dad was Reggie Tongue.
Hey, Maurice Hampton is the top player in Tennessee.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Norton's number 4.
And I was surprised Logue didn't end up getting bumped up too.
Because he didn't commit to Alabama.
Right.
Well,
I was just about
right.
to say that. Yeah, them Alabama bumps be ridiculous, man.
Oh yeah. Who? Has the guy that you guys are looking forward to the most been mentioned already on the podcast? Is it Nolan or Johnson, do you think? Or could it be Pickens? The guy you're looking forward to and think can make the biggest difference next year? Dustin, you can take this one first.
I would say Johnson, but I'm actually a pretty big believer in Stevenson myself.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Jason, who you got?
Ooh, I can only pick one?
Well, I guess
one
A and one B.
And looking forward to the most next year or for like his career, because that's a big difference.
He said next year.
So just in year one.
Yep. Yeah, just right off the jump, who's going to make the biggest impact?
Defense would be so easy to go Nolan Smith. But Jermaine Johnson's freaking huge.
Yes.
That dude's big and packed.
And quick, man.
So I'm going to have to go Jermaine Johnson, and on offense, we got him today. Either Pickens or Blaylock, to be honest. Because, I mean, we lost some slot guys. So, I mean, Blaylock could be plugged into the slot, I mean, right away. And then, you know, we've had Holloman on the outside kind of as our big receiver, but, I mean, you know, you lost Ridley too, so, and we lost Godwin out there, so, I mean, I got to go Pickens. And then, obviously, if we end up picking up Cager, then, you know, you got to throw his name in there too.
Okay, I got a recruiting question. Do y'all think Clay Webb's starting by the Georgia Tech game?
No, heck no. I ain't playing that one again. I done lost a steak dinner bet on my boy Jamari Sawyer. He's freaking awesome. I mean, you got guys like Jamari coming in and not starting his first year. I can't make that bet again.
At center?
I think he gets playing time, but no, Trey Hill will start, I think.
So
I think he gets playing time. Let me just shut up, and my answer from now on offensive linemen starting the first year when they're going to play is I defer to Blue.
Okay, we'll ask him tomorrow.
So he obviously has me mastered on that one. But no, I mean, and absolutely nothing against Clay Webb, just our depth and where it is, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think he plays, you know, easily a lot in year one, but I don't think he's starting.
He would for Bama.
Do you think he kind of has?
We won't ever know
because
he's not going there.
Do you think he has as much impact as the the kid that signed, the freshman from Tennessee last year, the offensive lineman?
Mays.
Okay,
yeah, Cade Mays.
Well, I mean, again, no, but it's absolutely nothing against Clay Webb. It's the freaking depth. Because Cade Mays didn't have to worry about Cade Mays being ahead of him. And Cade Mays came in with Trey Hill and Jamari Sawyer. I mean, you're looking across the board. I mean, who's taking time away from Andrew Thomas? Who's taking time away from Isaiah Wilson? Who's taking time away from Solomon Kinley, Cade Mays, Trey Hill, Jamari Sawyer?
Ben Cleveland.
Erickson.
Ben Cleveland.
That depth is that depth is crazy, man. Like it wouldn't surprise me, like in that spring, and those guys, whoever don't crack that 2 deep, you wouldn't see them transfer from that 16 class. That depth, man, for what they done to that O-line the past 2 years, man, it's insane.
Hitting us to God.
Because I even forget about Big Ben at times, you know, because he got hurt. Damn, that's right. He ain't nothing but a sophomore.
Shoot, I just forgot about him. Y'all had to remind me. Y'all had to add Ben Cleveland to the list.
As much as we love Ben Cleveland, without him being on the field,
he's like one of my favorite recruits we've ever had, and I just left him off the list.
It's insane, man.
Is Notorious still on the defensive side of the ball? He's still playing defense?
Yeah, he was at the end, so he'll probably start spring there.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, and let me run through the rest of the. I don't want everybody to forget about our early sign, the entire class, real quick. Nolan Smith, Nakobe Dean, Clay Webb, Trevon Walker, Dominic Blaylock, and remind me. I have a question to ask you guys on Dominic Blaylock. Okay, remind me. Tyreek Stevenson, Lewis Seen, Ryan Davis is a guy that may be getting forgotten about because of his injury. Tresman Marshall, Bill Norton, Xavier Truss, Kenny McIntosh, Jermaine Johnson, Rylan Goode, Micaiah Tung, Warren McClendon, 912, Dwan Mathis, DJ Daniels, Zion Logue, Timon Mitchell, Tramel Walthour, the Mailman, Stetson Bennett IV, George Pickens, and Brett Seether. And Jay, you need to update the board, man. You haven't updated Pickens on the prediction. Well, that was your prediction, man. I'm sorry. That's right. I thought it was the update.
Yeah, that
you
was the wrong prediction.
Caught you off guard, man.
I'm glad to be wrong on that one, because that looked like that's where it was sticking. Ooh, that was a good surprise.
All right. You all right? Yeah, that was very nice. I like those surprises, man.
Hey, going down that list. Were you going down that list? Hold on, 6, 7. When Jermaine Johnson is your 12th highest rated recruit, you have good.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
you have very, very good problems when Jermaine Johnson is your 12th highest rated recruit.
Yes, no doubt. I mean, the kid, seriously, I think could be one and done. Coming from JUCO.
That's what they're talking about. That's what the talk is. Like, I'm just telling you this right now. That outside linebacker room, period, just gonna be filthy. Like, I got excited seeing the kid from what's his name, man? BJ, not BJ, his brother BJ.
Jalari.
Oh, Z. Yeah. I was like, who is that? Man, that outside linebacker is gonna be.
He is jacked.
Dude, you see his neck? Man.
Oh my God! I had to start looking too. I was like, who's that big dude? I didn't even know where he came from. And I'm like, oh crap!
You got a brother in the 2020 class.
Yeah.
But Ojulari, when he got in, he looked explosive.
He got early playing time.
I remember Jake Rose said that on one of the UGA podcasts. He said, "Don't sleep on Ojulari." He said that back in the summer. He said, "I'm telling you,
explosive.
He said he's going to turn some heads." And I watched that Texas game. Like, one of the few highlights from that game was DeVar Wilson and him. Even though he missed I was like, who is that coming off that edge? I was like, God, that outside linebacker room, which is good. They got that depth, so you can rotate them, and it won't nothing drop off. Man, I'm telling you, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it, man.
I'll tell you one thing we've been saying for a while, and one thing I learned this past year is I very much underestimated the leadership that Lorenzo Carter and Davin Bellamy and guys like that brought, because I've been screaming that our guys that we have coming in are going to be more athletic than those two. And I still think that's right, but I very much underestimated their leadership that we were missing.
Yeah.
But saying that, man, these are some of the most athletic linebackers we've ever had, because like you said, sorry. And then that package when we went nickel and had Adam Anderson and Channing Tindall in the middle, and the way that they were moving, oh my God. And then like you just said, when DeVar Wilson came back and the way he played, and even Quay Walker, he was in there, and he looked like the biggest dude on the field.
Yeah,
he was smooth. And then we talked about all those dudes, and they even bring up probably the highest rated one, Brenton Cox.
I was just about to say, don't forget about Brenton Cox too.
Dear Lord. They are literally, and the thing all along that's basically been missing, and everybody always says Alabama, but you basically have to, because here's what everybody's striving for right now. They're in every national championship game, so I mean, you don't want to bring him up every time you talk, but that's what you're striving to beat right now. And the big difference in a lot of these games against Alabama has been the depth. And, I mean, that's one thing that we're building. My God.
Yeah. Well, I was just about to say, you noticed the difference.
I don't think you can look at any other team in the country right now besides Alabama and say they have better depth than Georgia does.
Mm-hmm. I was just about to say, remember in the SEC title game when DeAndre Walker got hurt.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, that's when the game kind of turned. I mean, I know it was Hurts
instead
of Tua, but nobody could contain Hurts on the outside. You know, they would not even just contain it, but I don't think anybody was able to get out there. And the combination of the athleticism and play recognition, you know.
Well, now you're about to have three guys that can.
Yeah. Yep, no doubt. Okay, I was going to
don't forget about Robert Bill either. Robert Bill was playing a lot
great
too.
Point. Great, another great point. All right, Dominic Blaylock. Why is it he has had this knock on him as a wide receiver, but yet the kid is, rated a 5-star wide receiver? Have y'all noticed?
Man,
have y'all gotten that feeling too that people kind of think there's something wrong with him or something? I don't know.
I don't know what the issue they had with him, because every time ESPN was at his school and his game was televised, he balled out.
Mm-hmm.
He balled out in the All-American game. Hell, he threw for a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else he got to do, but he don't care. Everybody say, well, he don't have the speed, the top end speed, but he's just a nasty route runner. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what the issue they had with him or what the knock, because he produced even at the highest level. So I don't know. I'm glad he a dog. We need that. We ain't got Terry Garvin, we need a good slot receiver.
I know the problem they have with him. He's not committed to Alabama. Huh? all this did do, just like you just said, was show up and show out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a popularity contest. Man, those rankings. I mean, you might as well not pay attention to them, because, I mean, just from knowing a few of them, these guys that do these rankings, I'd say 80% of them never played football in their life.
Well,
I know Barton Simmons did. I know Barton Simmons did some. I know Jake Rowe did. I don't even think he does the rankings, but Dean Rusty did. So, I mean, the rankings are very, very subjective, because in one case, you have it to where normally if they play good during practice and play good in the game, at the Army game, then they'll get a big ranking bump. Well, Blaylock did. He obviously did in the game, too. And I think he dropped a couple of spots.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't understand it.
There's never going to be anything to understand, because those rankings are as subjective as you can get.
Yeah. It's just always something that kind of was odd to me, and I even heard it from I mean, granted, the people I'm thinking of, have kids going to other schools, and they were kind of saying negative things about him and stuff. I just never did understand. I guess I'll actually ask them sometime at some point and then report back if y'all want. But it's just something that always kind of was odd to me. Like, this kid, like you said, all he does is make plays, and nobody really seems to give him credit for it. I never did understand that.
You just never know, and plus he never played the recruiting game. He shut it down Last year he didn't take no officials. He knew where he was going. He just waited on his letter of intent. So, you ain't got all these different schools jabbing at you and keeping the expense high. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows, man?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So, how about, all right, Jason kind of alluded to it earlier. Who's somebody maybe after a year or two in the strength and conditioning program that you think can really help lead the program? Terrell, you take this one first.
Travion. Travion Walker. Give me that. That dude gonna be a monster, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna contribute, but I'm saying if he still play a lot of basketball, but once he just really focus on football, man, that dude gonna be. If he can keep his athleticism, yeah, he's gonna be a handful.
Well, yeah. Think of how many guys that have that background, the basketball background, and
right.
They use it in football. Offensive linemen, defensive linemen. It helps.
Yeah.
Dustin, what about you?
I don't know if it's necessarily the weight room, but I would say year two, probably the biggest jump I would take on that defense would probably be Lewis Singh. I think he's going to be really productive.
Right. You don't think – do you think Singh can you think he can contribute? You don't think he'll be able to contribute right away with with the safety situation we have, or what?
I think. Well, it just depends on. I think Otis Reese made a lot of improvements, so I'm not going to discredit him being the third guy up. I think with Reese being done after next year, I really think we need to push the count a little bit harder than what we already have. I know we're talking recruiting, but I think he really needs to hit the weight room more than anybody on the whole team right now. But if you go look at Singh's stats, he's just a producer. Him and the middle linebacker Dean.
Yeah, that could be getting Dean. I think could be such a big boost for the inside, because we saw him. How many times did we talk about it all year long that, like, man, we need to get better production out of the inside linebackers, that was, just seemed like we would say it, way more often than not this past year.
No,
Jason, who do you have in mind for down the road? Oh, go ahead, Dustin.
Offense, you talking about weight room, not knowing if we're going to really use them, but Dwayne Mathis definitely got to hit the weight room.
Oh, man. What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that kid is thin, but it sounds like, folks like, most like his arm talent and his leadership so far. Not that he's going to have a huge ability to, display a lot of leadership, but, they like the arm talent he brings and athleticism, it seems like. So I think he's in a really good spot, can learn from Jake at least one more year, and then be able to maybe step in and have a year or two on his own, and then either move on himself or he may have a battle on his hands depending on who comes in 2020, and it'll be interesting to see. Jason, who's your down the road guy that you feel like get a year or two in strength and conditioning and learning on the field, things like that?
Tyreek.
Oh, yeah.
I think he may even play a little year one, but I think he's a absolutely definite starter down the line, whether it be either corner spot, star, or either safety.
Mm.
Because he's a big dude, but he's still fast. I think he's going to be your, like Mika Fitzpatrick at Alabama. I think he's going to be your Mika guy at Georgia.
Mm-hmm. And a South Florida guy, man.
Yeah, man, give me this. I don't, and I hadn't even looked at the rankings or anything like that, but I don't want any other DBs from anywhere else. Just go to South Florida.
Yeah, right.
I don't care if they're in-state and 5-star and whatever. I mean, okay, you can bring him in too if you want, but you give me South Florida DBs and I'm good. You don't even have to look anywhere else.
Yep. And I kind of like Marshall and the two linebackers, Davis. We mentioned him a little bit earlier. Give him a year or so, and to basically just recover from the knee. And then Tresman Marshall, just a crazy athlete too. I think he could develop into a big time player wherever he ends up. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a linebacker, but he played kind of all over in high school, so we'll see how that ends up. You're listening to Field Street Forum Live right here on the Playbook Athlete Podcast Network. And Jason, I know you had you and Joe and you guys had some guys that ended up making things happen. You guys helped them make things happen to sign with other schools as well. And talk about some of the guys that kind of jumped out at you from Playbook Athlete that you guys kind of worked with.
Dude, I'll tell you one thing. You'd be shocked by the amount of these kids that go to Ivy League schools.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a kid that's going to Cornell, and I mean, we've had kids going. I mean, I can't remember his name now. I'll get to him though. I mean, he basically had an offer from like 5 Ivy League schools. I'm like, who the heck is that? I'm
Good
like,
Lord.
This kid's a freaking genius, man. What the heck is this? All right, so just going down the line real quick. And these are either offers from 2020 and 2021 guys or guys that committed early signing day or guys that committed today. And, I mean, these are, all over the country, dude. I mean, you got Blake Fisher, blessed receive an offer from Nebraska, Tate Johnson, blessed and thankful receive offer from Michigan State, Jalen Shepard, blessed receive an offer from Troy, Tyler Waxman, extremely excited to announce I'll be furthering my academic and athletic future at the University of Florida. We'll forgive you, Tyler. This is the UGA podcast.
Oh, man.
We'll forgive you that one.
What the
heck? Well, just personally for the UGA guys, they're going to have to hate you for about 3 years. But love you anyway from Playbook. How about that? Luis Chavaria, offer from Southern Methodist. Brandon Pippin, offer from University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. I know he has like multiple offers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Joshua
and you guys kind of
do what?
I was going to say you guys kind of helped them out to kind of learn what to expect, get more exposure out, put the social media packages together, things like that.
It's all about social media, dude. And it's all about getting the exposure. It's not even about like, oh, we can help you get recruited because everybody says that and hardly anybody can. We won't even claim to be able to do that because we're not the ones on the field. You're the one on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one to work in every day, every morning, every night, every Friday. You're the one you're the one the coach is looking at. We're not helping you get recruited. But, man, I'm telling you, and God, better than any others that I've seen, and I'm not just saying that because I do stuff with them. I mean, better than just about anybody else I've seen. You got these bigger guys that promise to do this and charge you a crap ton of money, and basically they put you in a database that nobody looks at. So, I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's all about just helping them use social media in the right way. Because, I mean, it can be good for you, it can be bad for you.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, for any recruit going to Georgia or recruit going to community college or recruit going to the Ivy League school, I mean, and one thing I always tell our kids is even just the lyrics from a song can get you cut off. Because these scholarships are so tight, and the schools have to invest so much in these scholarships, and they're after so many kids, just like Kirby Smart. He's after 5 kids for one scholarship. And one of the 5 is going to fill it, and that race to get that scholarship so tight. I mean, they have assistants combing your social media for anything. They're looking. And, I mean, one post with rap lyrics where you might be having a bad day and you're pissed off at something could do you in. I mean, it's just that close. And, I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, just that can honestly do you in because the other guy didn't have this and that and this and that they may not have even meant, that they may have just copied and pasted from lyrics online from a song or, rap song, country, whatever. So I mean, it's that close. So, we help them set it up in a way that we know gets the coach's attention. Then we use all of our guys' connections, all of our trainers, all of our camps, all of their connections with all these coaches, and with our connection with the coaches, and help put these guys out there. And I mean, it works. I mean, I guarantee you I can list off 100 that are signing and getting free education now.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is, it's not all about, Division I or Power 5 schools or anything. As long as these kids are advancing their lives and their careers and enhancing their lives and careers by getting education, learning, continuing teamwork and learning how to work with others. And there's nothing like sports, man, to help you. I know some people look down upon sports a lot of times. Oh, it's a bunch of jocks and a bunch of, creates masculine environments and all this kind of horse hockey. And it's like, people don't realize you have such camaraderie on a team in different sports, basketball, football, baseball, and learning how to work with others and be a teammate, man. People don't realize how important that is for the rest of your life, learning how to operate on a team and being a teammate. It's so important to me that, and I'm hoping, the country and the everywhere in the country kind of starts getting back to that. Let kids be kids, let kids go play sports and learn how to be a good teammate. It's really super important. And it's a valuable tool and help to that person, for the rest of their life, like I said. So, but yeah,
that and it gives you free education.
Well, yeah, that's obviously that's a huge part.
I mean, you don't have to go in debt. Parents don't have to go in debt. You don't have to go in debt. I mean, we have Joshua Youngblood, free education, Kansas State. I mean, it just on and on and on and on, just scrolling through all these guys. Hayden Connor is one of our guys. These guys, offers from, Texas, Texas A&M, Georgia, Oklahoma State. We have guys like that. Trevor Lawrence was with us since like 7th grade. Owen Papo was with us since like 7th grade. Jamias Williams. So, we have some of the guys that go to the big-time schools.
Mm-hmm.
And, but most of our guys are the guys that, don't already have coaches knocking their doors down.
Mm-hmm. And think about
it. Connor State. Keep going. Jasper visited LSU. We have a camp coming up on March the 15th, I believe, in Wisconsin, where we're taking like 100 kids to work out with Brad Arnett. And if y'all don't know that name, Brad Arnett is J.J. Watt's personal trainer. He's in our network of trainers. So, we're taking 100 kids up to just to personally themselves work out with J.J. Watt's personal trainer.
Shoot, you got him helping get you swole too, Joe?
Do what?
You got him to help you get swole too?
He needs to. I need to get up there. Oh, here we go. Look, Lorenzo Valencia, Assumption College. Sage Ennis received an offer from Eastern Michigan. Andre Stewart offered from Florida. These kids are doing what they're supposed to do. Here we go. William Enneking. That's one of our guys. I'm excited to announce my commitment to Cornell University. This dude basically could have went to any of the higher education schools that he wanted. Dane Middlebrooks offered from Bowling Green. We had one kid go that's going to West Point, that's going to Army. Dominic Boyd, 100% born at Alabama State, it looks like. Carson Fugelberg, this dude can play. He's a beast. Going to Idaho State. Anthony Atkins going to Army, West Point. Tremaine Brown going, let's see, I can't tell the team. Tremaine Brown going to Louisiana College. Gosh, Briggs Terrace, offer from Georgia State. David Moore offer from Northern Colorado. Let's see, Jordan Stenhouse. Where's Jordan going? Talk to him a bunch. Erskine College. Hayden Fury going to play at freaking Utah. We got D1 guys, D2 guys. These guys are going everywhere, man. And because they worked their butts off on the field, and because they worked hard, basically, honestly, and I know some cliche words and all that, but just like these NFL football players, NBA basketball players, it's just getting the way that this is the way sports are now. You basically have to build your brand. You have to build yourself up as a brand, as like a storefront, basically, and your Twitter page is your storefront. And, what do you want the coaches to see when they go there?
Mm-hmm. And this is...
it's basically, building their brand, and it's all about the social media right now.
Oh, yeah. And you guys can help kids from all over, right?
Oh, everywhere. We've had a kid from Canada with us. JUCO kids and all that. Michael Wilson, Frostburg. Who else we got? Man, we got Kayla Oakler going to Rowe at Wisconsin. Let's see, I said William Enneking, Noah Anderson to LIU, Gregory Scroggs, Jack Scroggs is his name, going to Wofford. We have a couple of softball players. We have both of them actually can pitch. Where one of them just actually posted a video, and her dad was trying to catch for her. She threw a drop ball, and he didn't even know where it was going. I was like, I wouldn't have called it either. I couldn't see the dang thing. I mean, these kids are all over, dude. And it's just, you know, I mean, these kids just trying to live a dream, dude. And play with athletes of, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing with Joe if it honestly really wasn't all about the kids. I mean, you have these places that call themselves recruiting services. And, I mean, I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but they call themselves recruiting services, and it's really throw their name in a bucket with a bunch of other names and not really anything else. And, man, I've seen Joe, and it's not all about the money. Everybody has to pay bills, but I've seen Joe lose money on kids just to help them out. So I mean, if it wasn't all about helping the kids with him, then I wouldn't be doing it with him. So, and then he provides us this platform to talk about Georgia football too. So, Joe's a good dude. Joe's a good dude. He really, 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 really cares about these kids.
Yep. Appreciate it, and like I said, I know, knowing you for, you know, as long as I have, I know you wouldn't be, you know, working with anybody that would be out for just the money. So it's definitely a valued service that they offer, and you're seeing the results, you know. So really appreciate, you know, Playbook Athlete doing a great job with everything, and they got a really good website too, Jason. That's kind of cool.
Hey, let's build that sucker.
It's 50-42. Alabama has pulled out in front with 17 minutes to go.
Dude, our guys. I mean, we basically went the opposite direction, and I'm not complaining about anything in Green's first year, just like I didn't really want to complain about anything in Kirby's first year, because, you know, you got to learn the guys, and you got to set up and get your system in and get your culture in and all that good stuff. But we were having no offense, no defense.
Yeah.
Good
the
Lord, our guys could not play defense.
Still have the offensive droughts. I don't know why that's always been a thing with Georgia basketball, where they'll just go like 7 minutes without scoring a field goal. It's like, dude.
Well, it used to be because we passed the ball 30 times before even attempting a shot, and wait till it got to 2 seconds and then throw a shot up from anywhere. Now we're running with everybody, and we'll play, but we can't play defense. We won't guard 3-point shooters right before halftime. Yeah, we don't have a point guard. Right before halftime, they ran a play, and it looked like one of their guys on offense ran their own play, because they had two guys cutting to the basket at the same time, almost in the same spot, but both of them were open. Cutting to the basket. And I'm like, God, we can't play defense. They got two guys open on a busted play, both of them cutting to the basket, wide open layup, and I'm like, oh, Lord, have mercy.
Yeah, got to get more talent in, and I'm hoping. I know it's tempting, and I know I'm worried. What I would like to see is for Claxton to stay one more year, and of course Hammonds. I know it's possible that Claxton could go, but I don't necessarily know if he's ready. I don't think he's physically, his body's ready for the NBA. I don't know. He's so slim. I think one more year maybe, but I guess he could work out and learn at the end and get paid for it. But I really think one more year next year would really help him out a lot. And it would obviously help Crean out a lot. But we just got to get more talent in around him, get some guards and some guys that can shoot, guys that can just handle the ball, for God's sake. It's just so necessary to get more talent on the court to go with these guys. But you got to be able to keep a couple of these guys that are, like you talked about with leadership, with losing Bellamy and Carter. If you can keep a couple of these guys that are, gone through these battles before, I think it would make a big difference for any freshman that can come in make a big difference. So I don't know, man. I think we're on the right track. I really do. It's more exciting to watch. I don't throw my remote nearly as much with how much the offense isn't explosive, but just add a little bit, some more talent to go with it. Guys that can handle the ball, man, and I think we'll definitely be on the right track. I don't know. I guess there's still one guy that Georgia was really after in safety, Nick Cross out of Maryland, and just in one of the conversations there was some talk from one of the Florida State reporters talking about Cross didn't sign today. Nobody knows when he will. He wants to go to Florida State, but the parents are totally against it. And Penn State, and Maryland, and Georgia are in it too. So, anybody want to wager what our Georgia's chances are of reeling in Nick Cross? Can Georgia be the compromise school between Penn State, Maryland, and Florida State? Maybe. We're not quite as far as Florida State, but I don't know. It lets him get away from home for a little bit. Seems like that's what he wants to do. I don't know.
Well,
who wants to wager in on that?
I actually have a predicament I'm in. I can go one of two ways with this. I could either say that I don't think we're in it for him and I don't think we get him, and basically look like an idiot for doubting the king again. and just risk being wrong and looking like an idiot. And we get Cross. I mean, do I really want to do that? Or I can just shut up and quit trying to predict recruiting altogether because you can't predict it. I mean, that's basically my two choices.
Because stuff don't get out like it used to.
No.
He's got that on lockdown.
They got that thing sealed, boy.
I'll tell you what, if anybody, you'll have folks every once in a while like, okay, I'll probably be able to, you got the guys like Rusty and Roos and all them. That's their full-time job, and so they're always going to know stuff, but they don't always know stuff about everybody because all the info doesn't get out that much. You'll have, okay, I'll probably know what E.J. Williams is doing from Central before Rusty will because I'm right here and I'm down the street and I've dealt with them. I mean, that might be one where I'll have it before they do, but if somebody comes out, whether they're a professional or whether they're some wannabe insider posting from Mama's Basement or wherever they are, if they come out and claim to know everything on every recruit because such and such told me somewhere and I met somebody somewhere, they're lying. Because they don't know because of somebody. If one person was giving them that much information, they would absolutely be called and not be on the staff anymore. I mean, you had guys like, guys, the professionals, the recruiting analysts that get paid full time to do this, Rusty and Roos and all, that were basically blindsided up until the last second about George Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
So certainly some fly-by-night isn't going to know everything on 90% of the recruits. If they say that, they're lying.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is on lock down Central.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And I don't have the names in front of me, but I know Georgia added a couple more preferred walk-ons, didn't they? Before today, it was like into last week and early this week.
Yeah, we got the one long snapper. I think he'll end up being a big deal.
Yeah. See, any other surprises on signing day, Georgia related or not? Obviously, anybody else? Any other teams or programs stand out today, or have a good day today? Dustin, who other besides Georgia and Alabama, what SEC school did you kind of maybe like their class? Is there anybody that you thought had too good of a day being an SEC rival?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but I think Florida had a really good day with getting Boggle and Elam. I don't know if they got anybody else.
And Elam, I guess, let's talk about that for a second. I think everybody thought bringing in Coach Warren kind of would really help Georgia with Elam, but I don't think Kirby is that hell-bent on bringing in one recruit to bring in a position coach for that one recruit. I think it's still going to end up being a good pickup coaching-wise for the long haul, not just for this year. I don't think it was just for this year. I don't think. Y'all correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I don't know what happened. I don't know if the change of it was too much for him or what happened with that. But or if anybody knows, go ahead and jump in. Why did he not end up in Athens instead of going to Gainesville? Did you hear did he say anything, Dustin, or have you heard anybody else heard anything?
I'm kind of like with those players, when we don't get them, it's like your ex-girlfriend. Once she's not with you no more, I'll pay attention to it. But
because I don't know. We had a great JC on Field Street Forum was a great insight for that news and that lead. He had a great source on that, so we kind of knew all along what was kind of going on in his recruitment. And even at the time, it was thought that Coach Warren coming in made a big difference for him. Kind of, a lot of people thought it locked it up, but it ended up, not making the difference, and he still ended up at Florida. I think a lot of it could be just family and his uncle or whatever playing there and everything. I mean, it happens where kids go other places, but most of the time, a lot of times they end up just, sticking with what they know,
I actually think that's one that if we still had Mel Tucker, we probably have him right now, but I'm not going to be salty about that. He did what was the best for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be hard. Yeah, did you hear anything, Jason, about anything else that Georgia did or didn't do, or what was the final?
I mean, it always comes down to relationships. I mean, he just, with his uncle playing there and all that. I mean, he just built a better relationship with Florida, and then when it came down to coaches, coaches leaving and coaches coming back and all that, I mean, it's one of those where you don't necessarily commit to the coaches. You commit to the school, and he had a better relationship with Florida. Can't blame him. Can't be mad at him.
Right.
It is what it is.
No.
You're not going to get everybody.
Yeah. Gave it a hell of a run, that's for sure.
Next in line, we'll just go get another South Florida DV.
Did y'all see in the video his dad was crying looking at the Georgia hat?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was happy or sad tears.
I think he was happy. I think that's just the way they look. Because at first, I think I was the first one to comment that his mom looked pissed. And I was like, is this one of those where, like Nick Cross, where the parents don't want him going where he's about to say? Because it was before he even committed. So I was like, wherever he's going, his mom looks pissed. But then right. I think I was just like more of like her serious face because they were on TV and all that good stuff. Because after that, she was, smiling and clapping and all that. And then his dad got emotional. So, yeah, I don't think it was a bad deal where they were mad or anything. I think they're happy for him. And, his uncle's happy for him, and we're happy for him until October, and then it's on, baby.
Well, speaking of, was that Pickens' mom and dad with him? It didn't strike me as like overly enthused at his pick either, but
yeah, you could tell he went to a different facility or a different part of the facility because when they announced, it was literally the only people that was clapping sounded like it was the parents and the cousin, and they really weren't even clapping much at all.
Right. It was kind of like, okay, cool. And then finally the guy on his right, pretty big dude. He finally started smiling and he got a little more enthusiastic. But I wonder how much of a surprise, how much talking they did before his announcement.
You know what I did? I did start watching it a little early, and they were on the phone a decent bit before they sat down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, they've been talking to family members who needed directions, but who knows?
Right. And the one thing I do want to say, too, is, and I know it's former coach, but I swear Coach Rick looked like, and he had the weight of the world lifted off of his shoulders. He was so much more relaxed, and it seemed like he was laughing a lot more on that ESPN show today, and he looked 5 years younger too. I mean, I don't think he's going to be coaching anymore, man. Because he did not. He was so worn down from the Miami situation, and like I said, he just looked completely different today. And I know it's, there obviously isn't any pressure on him. I mean, he's not having to bring in these guys to his school now and having to recruit and all that kind of stuff. But man, he just looked 20 times better than he did at the end of this season when he was, I don't know, and I don't have any answers, and he was just totally worn down. You could tell, man. I don't know. Did y'all notice that too, or was I just reading too much into it?
I got the same vibe too.
See it. Yeah. I thought it was pretty telling sign, man. By the way, Dogs are down 62-49 right now. 11 minutes left.
Even in his last days at UGA, you could tell he was worn down. But then, and then when he started at Miami, he looked like he was back into it a little bit, but it didn't really last. It wore him down. And I'm not even trying to. I'm dead serious. I'm not even trying to be funny. As long as it's not like on the field coaching, I'd take him back to Georgia in a second.
Yeah.
I'd let him come run the Paul. I'd let him come run the Paul Oliver Network and let him help fundraise and all that, and he'd be a tremendous asset to all the sport, fundraising and running the Paul Oliver Network. Because then I think that's more where his heart is, and he'd still be helping the kids. I think it'd be perfect for him.
Absolutely. Yeah, there is a little bit of word going around that there may be something to that, but I don't. It's one of those things that's kind of like, it's almost to the point of the Hines Ward as receiver coach territory where everybody likes to say it,
Yeah.
But it never really is going to come to fruition.
I will say this too. I don't think I would, and people say this, and I evidently think you could just plug anybody in to be athletic director, but don't think I would want him doing that only solely based on his history of being too faithful to people that needed to be let go.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just God's honest truth. I'm not trying to bash him or anything like that. It's just the God's honest truth.
Right. Right. So, I think you mentioned it earlier with Wolf and maybe Cager. Do you think there's any more true freshmen that Georgia may try to like Cross? You said earlier is not really. Or is there anybody else that Georgia may take a look
unless
at?
it's Cross, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Which means losing on Kyer Elam, I mean, you never know. He might want another DB that bad that we just go all out for Cross too and try to make Georgia the agreement between him and his parents or him and his dad. Because I always thought, ever since Maryland hired their head coach at that high school to be the running backs coach, I always figured that's where Cross would go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, I see it as being, and actually, I think even before Florida State guys said that today, I think we were already talking about it being he wanted Florida State, his parents wanted Penn State. And so I see it being as, okay, if he wants Florida State and his parents want Penn State, want them, I think part of it's to be closer to home, then I think the obvious compromise would be Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see where UGA would be in there as a compromise besides, okay, he wants Florida State, parents want Penn State, we think Maryland's just going to suck.
Yeah, or just wants to get out of state somehow,
Yeah, I mean, I would think if I was just guessing, and I'd love to be wrong, I would think Georgia would be fourth in that list, but I don't know. Who knows? Patrick Pickens? I don't even know. Patrick Pickens,
and tell me this. After Pickens, what? Did cut out? Yeah, I guess it. And speaking of Florida State, your phone was cutting in and out, Jason. Was it?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, my phone went out.
Oh, okay. Was that you talking or posted earlier about Florida State's quarterback situation? Obviously, we know DeAndre Francois was dismissed from the team for some domestic issues, apparently. But they've missed on another quarterback again, so that's 2 classes in a row that they have not pulled in a quarterback?
He looked bad, man. He looked.
I mean, they'll probably have to bring in 2 transfer quarterbacks just to fill the quarterback room.
From what I understand, the whole deal with Florida State and Jimbo Fisher was basically about Florida, not even about salaries, but about Florida State spending money on facilities and all that, basically to keep up with everybody else. What Georgia's actually doing now. I mean, basically, to me, Florida State and Georgia were pretty close to being in kind of the same place. I think Florida State was probably a little worse off with where their depth chart was, but as far as not wanting to spend money on facilities, having a good coach that's been there for a while and not wanting to spend the money on facilities and being behind on a bunch of stuff. I think we were pretty close. And basically, we went the opposite direction. You know, Kirby came in, and I don't know how he did it or what he said or what he did, but we're all of a sudden spending money on everything. And Florida State basically let Jimbo Fisher go because either they don't want to spend the money or they don't have it. And so I think they're going to end up finding out they made a big mistake with the whole Willie Taggart deal.
Yeah, I think I said it when he was hired that, you know, he's never really proven that he really is a great, you know, program builder. I guess he's went to Florida, you know, from USF, and then went to or Western Kentucky, USF, and then Oregon, very quickly within about 4 or 5 years.
Proof he can do anything.
Yeah.
Shoot.
He was at Oregon just the 1 year, right?
He's supposed to at least be able to recruit. And we just didn't think we would get a quarterback on campus. I mean, what? They had Hockman transferred, and then obviously Francois. And so James Blackman's the only scholarship quarterback you even have on campus now. Howell flipped from you to North Carolina, I think, wasn't it? Sam Howell. So you missed out on him. Then you had the longer relationship with the LaGranda kid, and then you let Loxley and Maryland swoop in and grab him from you. You're at least supposed to be able to recruit.
And we're talking Florida State, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You're in the most
fertile.
Oh my God! No wonder no quarterback wants to go there.
I saw stuff in Red Stuff where like other coaches basically said they had like the simplest offense to prepare against and all this, and they looked foolish and didn't know what they were doing. Basically, anything you could think about the coaching, they were like, it was horrible. You know, their offensive line coaching was obviously horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, but he was at least supposed to be able to recruit. And you can't talk a guy into coming and saying, hey, we only have one scholarship quarterback. Come play for us. I mean,
at the worst, you're going to be the backup.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't like a deal where Georgia had Jake Fromm and Justin Fields and nobody wanted to come behind that. I can see that. Or you know, with Alabama, you know, Hurts and Tua in there, I can see somebody not wanting to go there. So never see the field, but I mean, you could be the man here. One thing happens to Blackman, and you're the man.
Yeah, like you said, behind that O line, and Blackman he's like 6'4", $150, I think. you got a good shot at getting on the field. So I don't know, bro. All I know is anybody in South Georgia now that used to go to Florida State, Georgia needs to make sure they lock them in if they want them. All right, guys. Anything I missed? Any names? Any programs we need to talk about? I think we kind of covered everything. I mean, it's like I said earlier. It's kind of the early signing day kind of takes a big chunk of the you know, luster of the late the used to be normal signing day. But anytime you can close with a 5-star wide receiver that was committed to one of your biggest rivals for 500 days and get a big time, you know, high ceiling tight end at a position of need, it's a good day. So the Dogs got better today, and we got we got to talk about it right here on Field Street Forum Live. So, anything else, guys? I guess not. Appreciate everybody listening in. Check out fieldstreetforum.com. You'll have all the latest articles, news, and information on the front page. Check that out. Hit the Classic City Cavern link up above and the most current date, and that will be the latest discussion and conversation going on for all the news and topics of the day. Check out Field Street Forum, Field ST Forum on Facebook and Twitter. Give me a follow at The Real Dre. Of course, check out the Playbook Athlete. We talked about all the names and guys that were getting help through the site, through the company there as well. Do a great job with that. Check out, give D Woody 15 a follow on Facebook and Twitter. And Terrell, you just on Facebook or you on Twitter as well?
Nah, I'm just on Facebook, man. I don't do the Twitter thing.
Facebook. All right. That's where all the news breaks, man.
Yeah, I know, man.
But appreciate Jason, everything he does, and getting on here with us. Dustin's been doing a great job. Check out, on YouTube, check out the new Field Street Forum on YouTube. Dustin's been killing it with he's been uploading the podcast onto YouTube and putting some video to go along with it. And also we've got the new Field Street Forum Live blasts that we've been doing. It's kind of like a 2-minute little thing, any breaking news or anything like that. And he's putting some video to that as well, so giving you a visual element to go along with the audio. So check that out. Just search Field Street Forum on YouTube, and then hit the subscribe button, and you'll be able to see all the latest work that Dustin's been doing, man. Like I said, he's been killing it on there as well. And Terrell, appreciate you joining us tonight, brother.
No problem, bud.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy. Until next week, go Dogs. See you.
Woo! Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. This is your daily pep talk. I know it's been rough going ever since people found out about your a cappella group, Mad Harmony, but you will bounce back. I mean, you're the guy always helping people find coverage options with the Name Your Price tool. It should be you giving me the pep talk. Now get out there, hit that high note.